everybody, it's Mary Ritz here with the final video in our series, Common Mistakes that Leaders Make when Leading Teams or Their Workforce. In part 1 of this series, we identified micromanaging as one of the mistakes that leaders make, and I provided tools to overcome that. In part 2, we identified the lack of transparency and openness as a mistake, and I also provided tools to overcome that. In this final video of this series, we are going to focus on problem number 3, which is not looking or approaching problems from a holistic perspective. What do we mean by that? I've realized that as leaders or as organizations, we do not treat problems with a full picture view. We do not take the big picture most of the time. We don't understand the problem from a systemic perspective, so to speak. We tend to take a single view on a problem and treat it in isolation or try to solve it in isolation. We view problems very simplistic and we take a linear perspective. We don't really understand or appreciate the complexity of problems, that they're persistent, that they're chaotic, and that they're stubborn. And because of that, they need us to understand the underlying problems, the core reasons why they're existing in the first place. So how do we overcome that? But before I go into the overcoming that, let me demonstrate by sharing an experience that I had. A couple of years ago, I was asked to train a group of frontline staff that were in the customer service department. This was a great organization. I was excited to partner with them. As we dived in, we realized that they were just not customer service issues like human relationship issues or customer relationship issues. There were other issues that were associated to the problems that were affecting the customer service department and the customer service experience, so to speak. So asking me to go in and solve a training issue that required a strategic problem because systems were broken, the culture was not conducive, processes did not support customer service, products were not enhanced to be customer friendly. So again, this was a typical example of how we treat problems. We treat them in isolation, we treat them with a very simplistic mind view, and therefore we fail to really understand the rest of the problem and how they're affecting us. So how do we overcome? We overcome by truly understanding a holistic problem, understanding the core reason why it exists in the first place. We have to dig deeper, ask why, and dig deeper and ask further why this is persistent and why this is asking. We also have to understand who is being affected by it or who is affecting us in the first place. So we have to understand the connectivity and the interdependence of all the organizational departments. In other words, we have to take a systemic approach to problem solving, which means that a holistic approach. In addition to that, different views to problem solving become paramount. We cannot solve the same problems with one mind or with one special expertise. We have to allow different expertise to talk and to challenge the problem. I hope that helps. I hope you have found this series great. Remember, there are so many factors that affect leadership. I've only just identified 3 in this series. Number 1, micromanaging. Number 2, the lack of transparency and openness. And number 3, not approaching problems from a holistic perspective. I hope you found this helpful. For more information, visit our website, www.aumentainternational.com. www.maryritz.com. Thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye.